On page 283 of the Triphasic Training Book, I'm looking at a 5-day program, a high force and high velocity program. This is one of my favorite programs to administer because what has happened at this point, this is a fourth block of training. I've taken my athletes through 4 or 5 weeks of various things such as general preparatory work, GPPs referred to. I just call the fitness base really in simplest terms. And then the athletes go home during the academic year for about a week or two. They'll come back. We'll take them through a 6-week training cycle of the triphasic. Now, I do like weeks 5 and 6 of the first summer of the 6-week training cycle because there's no eccentric, there's no isometric focus. But what happens is during that phase is the athletes are overtrained. Okay, so you won't see the reactiveness that you'd hope. But what happens is that's July 4th, so we give them 2 weeks during that particular time, and then when they come back, everything has accumulated as far as stress and the recovery has kind of mixed in, and they've peaked. When they come back to the program on 283, block 4, a 5-day program, it is a very intense program. However, they're more reactive and they are very explosive and ready to perform at the highest level. You'll see, and I'll notice this day 1, you'll see on the Monday, I even have the date there, the hurdle hop, single leg, split squat, lunge jump. Again, make sure you look at the videos. Accelerated band jump will work with that. Then we'll do a hex bar deadlift. Understand that hex bar deadlift, the sets are timed, so they will do 6 seconds during that time. Oh no, they will do, what happens is they do 6 reps, and we time the reps. They have a sheet that has a lot of numbers on it in regards to time. It's a drop-off sheet that you can find at Excel Athletes under the download sections. And what happens is we'll circle their best time, and then they'll keep up with that until they drop off by 1 to 2% off that time. Actually, it would be on a 3-day model, it would be a 2% drop off. Okay, actually, check that. I think it might be a 3% drop off. So, and again, you have to make sure technique doesn't drop off. Okay, but ultimately, this is, by my definition, I call it biometrics, which there's a section in the book or a Coach's Corner article that you can read on it. It's really autoregulatory by some people's standards, and realistically it was termed cybernetics. A lot of people have not stolen this concept, but talked about it and don't reference it. It really came from cybernetics, which was a book wrote upon math controlling computers and humans. There was a clinic on it, or a convention I should say, in 1960, I believe, or 59. Dr. Michael Yessis again wrote on this subject a number of years ago, but so many people have essentially taken the very concept and put their own spin on it, or whatever it may be. However that is, again, I thank Dr. Yessis for bringing that to everyone's attention. And this can be seen, this method of the drop-off, I believe it's in our book, and it can be used in track and field. It's been used by swimming coaches who may have stumbled upon it themselves or got it from another coach, but ultimately you're just using the current state of readiness for the athlete to know how many sets, reps that an athlete should do on that particular day. So there are no standard issue number of things that you need to work on. When you're working high quality work, you are letting the athlete guide itself on how many they can do, because you've set the bar so high that if they can only do 5 to 10, 6 repetitions, then that's all they're going to get in. So that's a method that I'll use. You'll notice on the hex bar deadlift. That is really a complex exercise. So they'll do the hex bar deadlift and then slide down. They'll do a bunch of, if you notice, there's a lot of prehab work during those 4 or 5 minutes of break, and then they'll go back. Now, remember what this is this is regulated. So we've actually had athletes come in on certain days and do 12 sets of the hex bar deadlift before they dropped off. Now these athletes have been the ones that are in very good shape, that have been in the system for multiple years. It can only happen if the athlete has had a work capacity phase that is extremely high, and they are very committed to taking all the right supplements and eating well and getting plenty of rest. can an athlete extend their sets into 10 to 12. You'll see on the leg day, I found that on the sport back squat on the Wednesday, the maximal effort, which in this case maximal effort is only at 80%, but a lot of people use that term. It's my heaviest day during the course of the week. You'll see I went to some single leg plyos, which I found correlated more than double leg to the maximal loads because the weight's moving slower. Okay. Then on Friday, I have, you'll notice instead of back squatting at this time or doing a lot of axial loading on 3 days a week, which is in many of my programs, I find that I'll switch the high volume day where they're doing more repetitions to a single leg work at that particular time. All the prehab is done in the dynamic warm up, okay, and then this is again my high volume favorite off-season program. Now you just saw the 3 days of leg training, the 2 days of upper body on Tuesday, Thursday during the course of the week. You can turn the page on 285 and get the different program. And like I said, working the lower body and upper body can cause a restorative effect if you do a split like that. So